Why has this thing caused insanity level hunting? And this is where it gets a little bit crazy. Long awaited. A bit. It should be fun to collect movies. It's finally arrived. What are you singing for? It's here, it's here. I've got it. Finally, it's arrived. Been waiting for this for so long. Yeah. Oh, in this package right here, we have a new 4K UHD arrival of a long-awaited movie. Not been on a HD format before, it's time for the upgrade. And the movie that's in here, for the last couple of weeks, it's been the source of so much stress and anxiety for people and their collections and their collecting. But before we delve into all of those shenanigans, you probably already know what the title is, so let's get this bad boy open. Actually, before I go full rage on the packaging, I'm going to do it a little bit more carefully because I don't want to damage the slipcover, because let's face it, the slipcovers are really important to keep nice, aren't they? Right? These corrugated packages, they always look flimsy, but they seem to work pretty well. Where's the third disc? The third disc is underneath. Surprise! Yep. James Cameron's The Abyss.
King of the world!
This title, it isn't limited, it isn't a special edition, so just why is it causing so much stress and so much anxiety? Well, firstly, it didn't get a release in the UK and it's not going to get a release in the UK. This is down to James Cameron not wanting to make any edits to his movie. Restrictions in the UK meant that a particular scene involving a rat being submerged into water needed to be cut. James Cameron wouldn't cut it, no release for the UK. So now UK collectors have been looking at importing the title from overseas. I myself have imported a copy from the US. I felt it was a must-have for my own collection and I wanted it. Now the 4K discs, they're generally region free, so there's no worries with region coding or anything like that. But I'm also lucky enough to have a region free Blu Ray player, so I can play pretty much anything from anywhere, if I so choose. There's been a few choices from where people in the UK can import from. They can order from Wow HD or good old Amazon, and there's obviously a bunch of other places that can order from too. Where's the stress in all of this? I put it down to social media and the pretty slack business practices of some of the retailers. As soon as we started seeing the US collectors posting pictures of their new arrival of The Abyss, UK fans started to wonder,
where the hell is my copy?
A couple of days passed and the UK fans, they started frothing at the mouth, anticipating this new release. A couple of the retailers seemed to start struggling with the demand. There was absolutely zero in way of communication, so us sat in the UK, we had no idea if our order was safe, if it had even been shipped, or when we might get it. People were having trouble even ordering the title, with stock appearing and disappearing on quite a regular basis. We were pretty much in the dark. That didn't work, did it? Oh shit. There were frequent updates on social media pages, with everyone seeming to have ordering issues or order issues, a real lack of any updates from the retailers. It sent most people into an absolute panic.
What if we don't get it?
And this is where it gets a little bit crazy. I was seeing people cancelling existing orders and reordering from another retailer in a desperate attempt to get some kind of clarity on what was happening with this title and if they were going to get it. They wanted some kind of movement with their order, something to show that it was actually on the way. It was getting that bad that the scalpers on eBay were out in force. They had copies in hand and were charging the princely sum of £95 for a copy of this must-own item. This must-own item that isn't limited, isn't a special edition, yeah. So why are we all so desperate to have this thing on release? It's borderline insanity. I mean, it's easy for me to say as I'm sat here talking to you with my copy in hand. As I've said before, it's not limited, it's not a special edition, it's going to be available for years to come. Why do I need it on day one of release? I don't. I was quite lucky myself. I kind of ignored getting drawn into the conversation and getting wound up about not having it already and waited patiently for it to arrive. And as you can see, it did arrive. Sure, it was about a week after the US street date, but it's a week after the street date for it to be shipped all the way from the US to the UK and have it in hand. That's not too bad. I didn't feel any stress or anxiety with my order. I just took a step back and I considered the realities of the order. It's not a limited title. There's going to be stock eventually, even if I don't have it immediately. It's now going to be available for many years to come. And I've no doubt that in a few months' time, there's going to be that steelbook release of this edition. And again, I'm going to see the same people going absolutely nuts trying to get their order in. Obviously, the steelbook might be limited, so that might be more of an issue. For this release, it's pretty standard. I mean, you probably saw in the video that the case is pretty standard itself, and we've got a disc on top of another disc, just like that. It's the cheapest, most basic way they could get this released. So, want limited? Wait for that steelbook. Why do we do it? Why has this thing caused insanity level hunting and a need to have it straight away? I've had my copy here for a few days, sat in its packaging. I hadn't even opened it.
Probably because I was considering doing this video.
And the likelihood is I may not actually get a chance to give it a look for a few days, or even a few weeks, or it could be months as it casually sits on my shelf with a bunch of other movies that are potentially still sealed. I just don't have the time in the day to always be able to get to the new releases, so I wanted to take that step back and not worry about having it, because the reality is I may not get to it for quite some time. I do hope that everyone that ordered this title got their copies through okay eventually, but I'd like to ask them, just take a step back. Is it that important to have this thing straight away? Is it worth the stress that it's caused? It should be fun to collect movies. It should be fun to receive the new releases. It shouldn't ever cause you any stress or anxiety. Please don't let your collecting habits affect you in this way. We're here to enjoy collecting and enjoy the experience of a movie. It should never consume you and bring you down. Drop a comment below with your experience of ordering The Abyss. I trust that most of you probably have, and we'll chat about it there.